Breaking. Welcome to today's headlines. Cow eating ban, Ipob's directive, blowing the trumpet of war, says Suleiman, CNG spokesman. Cow eating ban, Ipob's directive, blowing the trumpet of war, says Suleiman, CNG spokesman. To my dear listeners from wherever you're listening from, stay tuned as I read today's news. In this interview with Godwin Ishenyo, the spokesperson of the Coalition of Northern Groups, Abdul Aziz Suleiman, says the only solution to the indigenous people of Biafra's agitations is to conduct of a referendum. The Ipob has banned the singing of the national anthem in Igbo land and transportation of cows to the southeast. What's your view on this? We are not really surprised because we foresaw this scenario long ago and in 2017 took bold and necessary steps to address Nigeria on the unfolding developments. A similar communication was also addressed to the major foreign diplomatic missions represented in Nigeria, in which we drew attention to the emerging trends in the country that were pregnant with complications and unforeseen consequences. Our truly patriotic submissions at that time, though largely misunderstood, aimed to forestall the current imminent drift towards anarchy and bloodshed, and also to alert Nigeria and the international community as to where responsibility would ultimately lie if such momentous and terrible events ever come to pass. The warning we issued in 2017 was deliberately distorted instead of treating it as a warning from history which repeats itself. According to Karl Marx, today everyone can see that the agitations and disturbances that have been ongoing ceaselessly since around 2015 are systematically being manipulated towards rendering a country practically ungovernable. And ushering in anarchy and instability, and could portend towards the breakup of the country. We at the CNG are convinced beyond doubt that the resurgence of separatist agitation, especially by Ipob and its ilk in the southeast, represents a much wider conspiracy to divide Nigeria and the correct regime of boycott announced by Ipob aims to bring the North down on its knees by economic incapacitation and political balkanization. The specific targeting of the North by the ban order that inadvertently exposes Northerners to imminent attacks and irreverent treatment is aimed at causing inter-regional crises, possibly leading to a civil war or general unrest. With regard to the banning of the Nigerian national anthem, we believe it is a state affair as it touches on the very foundation of our shared values. We hope and believe that the relevant authorities would not handle this matter with levity or condescension. The time is now, therefore, for the so-called respected Igbo leaders who in November visited Buhari and pleaded for Kano's freedom to act if actually they are sincere. Your group, the CNG, in turn, called for a total boycott of all businesses operated by the Igbo all over the north, as well as calling on northerners everywhere to decline support for any political party or formation or movement that has the active participation of Southeast politicians, effective from April 2022. Do you think it is the best way in tackling the Ipob matter? Yes, of course. This seems to be the only language they will understand because we cannot be accepted to look the other way with the North turned into the target of abuse by Ipob and other secessionist groups. It is important to place on record that in the past, the North has remained the bulwark of decency, morality, etiquette, accommodation, and all other positive traits. But in spite of this studied and dignified reserve of the North and refusal by its people to engage in altercations with its self-appointed enemies and antagonists, no stone is being left unturned to see that the North is goaded into reacting. In the process, history is being shamefully and blatantly reviewed, rewritten and falsified to suit certain agendas that tend to portray the North in bad light and render it as the culprit and the guilty entity. They have accused the North for committing every sin under the sun. They have vilified the North and in the past killed its leaders, scandalized its institutions and ridiculed its traditions and customs. They have under various guises tried to bring down the North by undermining its economic and social fabrics and encouraging rampant social problems like armed robbery, kidnapping, prostitution,